Have you ever had to think about what it's like for a child to live in a home where there is domestic abuse and domestic violence? Well, hopefully you haven't had to think about it and it hasn't been an experience either for you or your children. But for many, many children around the world, this is all they've known. So I'm delighted tomorrow with Innovating Minds to start delivering the training to professionals around the world who want to be able to deliver the Trauma Informed Healing Together program. Now, I say I'm delighted, and I truly, truly am. This feels like the kind of the culmination in a way of so much of my life, professionally and personally. So as an adult, I have been in several abusive relationships. I probably haven't even stopped to really reflect how many of my relationships were abusive, particularly my first marriage that my child was born into. So, my son was Baby Bear. Yes, definitely. I recognise that 8-year-long marriage, and it was a longer relationship, was highly abusive on many levels, which at the time, because I'd never even heard of domestic abuse or domestic violence, had no idea that myself and my son were experiencing. So personally, this has very great significance to me, but also professionally. I've spent 26 years working with families, and in many, many of the different organisations and settings that I've worked in, I have supported so many incredible families experiencing or coming out the other side of living with domestic abuse and domestic violence. And particularly when I was working for Survive, that was the only work I did. So working with families who were either in refuges or maybe based out in the community or maybe resettled post domestic abuse and domestic violence. And these families, they just taught me so much about what children and young people really do need. And out of that experience came my book. Literally, again, the children particularly taught me, so what do we need the adults to understand? And fast forward many years later, having avidly and voraciously studied the impact of early childhood trauma, that's what is going to be combined in this unique training and this unique program that those who are trained in it will then be able to deliver. Now, Innovating Minds are an incredible organisation that I've been very, very fortunate to partner with in this. And together we have created a hub where you don't just access the training. So there's 3 days training running on an ongoing basis when you come into the program, but you also get fantastic resources to use with the children. There's amazing animation so that the children can really see what you mean, what you're talking about in the group. So these animations, they're nothing scary, they're just showing how they can build resources within themselves to manage the ongoing impact of what they've lived through. So there's no big mention of domestic abuse or domestic violence. It's very much about helping the children to feel better and safer now and for the rest of their days. So personally tomorrow, I think I'll feel quite emotional because it feels like, yes, this is exactly what I should be doing right now. And professionally, I'll be feeling full of joy and excitement, and very, very grateful to have this opportunity to work with Innovating Minds to make sure that everything I've learned from the families, from the children, from the young people, everything I've learned from my own experiences of being in abusive relationships and what I've seen my son go through, and then the immense, amazing research and studies we have which show the impact of all of this in terms of childhood trauma, bringing it all together and then ensuring that you will have the resources, the support, emotional support, ongoing personal development, it will all be available through this amazing program. So I look forward to meeting many of you around the world as we go on this journey together, and just holding on to the fact that we together are going to be able to do something, not only to help children now, but also to prevent domestic abuse and domestic violence in the future.